Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamunatiravana Chari Jamunatiravana Chari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Jaya Radha Samasundara Samasundara Jaya Radha Samasundara Samasundara Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Jaya Sri Radha Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Nitai Gaur Hare Bal Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa. Parivrajacharya Ashtotra Satat Systematis Divine Grace is Konpanatari Srila Abhacharya Vena Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotra Satat Systematis Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnavina Ki Jai. Namacharya Sili Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Si Kahao Si Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Si Advaita Gatadhara Si Vasadi Si Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Si Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Syamakunda Radha Kunda Girikubadhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Si Mathura Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Si Jagannathpuri Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai, Si Mata Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktavinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Our glories to the Samu devotees, our glories to the Samu devotees, our glories to the Samu devotees, our glories to Sisi Gaura and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Bhagavad-gita, chapter 14, title of this chapter is The Three Moods of Material Nature. Chapter 14, text 16. Kamanahan sukritasyahu satvikam nimalam phalam rajastu phalam dukam ajnanam tamasa phalam kamana sukritasyahu satvikam nimalam phalam rajastu phalam dukam ajnanam tamasa phalam. Can someone try? Maharaji's Kamanaha of work, Sukritasya, pious, Ahu is said, Satvikam, in a mode of goodness, Nimalam, purified, Phalam, the results, Rajasaha, of the mode of passion, to birth, Phalam, the result, Dukam, misery, Ajnana, nonsense, Tamasaha, of the mode of ignorance, Phalam, the result. Please kindly be responsible. Repeat. The result of pious action is pure. And it is said to be in a mood of goodness. But action done in a mood of passion results in misery. And actions performed in a mode of ignorance results in foolishness. Purport. By His divine grace, His confounded Acharya, Srila Abhacharya Vinda Bhakti-Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The result of pious activities in a mode of goodness is pure. Therefore, the sages who are free from all illusion are situated in happiness. But activities in the mode of passion are simply miserable. Any activity for material happiness is bound to be defeated. If, for example, one wants to have a skyscraper, so much human misery has to be undergone before a big skyscraper can be built. The financier has to take much trouble to earn a mass of wealth, and those who are slaving to construct the building have to render physical toil. The miseries are there. Thus, Bhagavad-gita says that in any activity performed under the spell of the mode of passion, there is definitely great misery. There may be a little so-called mental happiness. Quote, I have this house or this money, unquote. But this is not actual happiness. As far as the mode of ignorance is concerned, the performer is without knowledge, and therefore all his activities result in present misery, and afterwards he will go on toward animal life. Animal life is always miserable. Although under the spell of the illusory energy, Maya, the animals do not understand this. Slaughtering poor animals is also due to the mode of ignorance. The animal killers do not know that in the future the animal will have a body suitable to kill them. That is the law of nature. In human society, if one kills a man, he has to be hanged. That is the law of the state. Because of ignorance, people do not perceive that there is a complete state of control by the Supreme Lord. Every living creature is a son of the Supreme Lord and does not tolerate even an ant's being killed. And he does not tolerate even an ant's being killed. One has to pay for it. So indulgence in animal killing for the sake of the tongue is the grossest kind of ignorance. A human being has no need to kill animals because God has supplied so many nice things. If one indulges in meat eating, anyway, it is to be understood that he is acting in ignorance and is making his future very dark. Of all kinds of animal killing, the killing of the cows. The killing of cows is the most vicious because the cow gives us all kinds of pleasure by supplying milk. Cow slaughter is an act of the grossest type of ignorance. In the Vedic literature, Rig Veda 9:46-4, the words Gobi Pranita Masturam indicate that one who, being fully satisfied by milk, is desirous of killing the cow. Indicate that one who, being fully satisfied by milk, is desirous of killing the cow, is in the grossest ignorance. There is also a prayer in the Vedic literature that states, Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmanaya Hitaya Cha Jagatitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namah. Quote, My Lord, you are the well-wisher of the cows and Brahmanas, and you are the well-wisher of the entire human society and world. Vishnu Purana 1:1965. The purport is that special mention is given in that prayer for the protection of the cows and the Brahmanas. Brahmanas are the symbol of spiritual education, and cows are the symbol of the most valuable food. These two living creatures, the Brahmanas and the cows, must be given all protection. That is real advancement of civilization. In modern society, spiritual knowledge is neglected, and cow killing is encouraged. It is to be understood then that human society is advancing in the wrong direction and clearing the path to its own condemnation. A civilization which guides the citizens to become animals in their next lives is certainly not a human civilization. The present human civilization is, of course, grossly misled by the modes of passion and ignorance. It is very dangerous. It is a very dangerous age, and all nations should take care to provide the easiest process, Krishna consciousness, to save humanity from the greatest danger. Om Gyana Tmirandasya, Gyana Jana Salakaya, Saksod Militam Gyana Tismai, Sri Gurubhe Namaha, Sujete Manam Vistan, Stafi Tam Gyana Bhutali, Swayam Rupa Kadamayam, Vedanti Sva Padantika, Vanchakal Patari Vecha, Kripasundya Vecha, Patitanam Pavani, Vashnam. Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda Sahodato, Gatadai Puspavantachi, the Chandatamon, Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadara, Sri Vasudeva Swami, Bhakti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pisaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vicharine Nirvisesa Swanyamvadi Pasatya Dusatana. So, you're welcome to this evening segment of the continuation of our daily program. And in this very text of the Bhagavad-gita, we have provided some insight about what constitutes pure action and what also constitutes ignorant action and passionate action. So traditionally, I don't know what is obtainable in India, but I know in America, people are very much proud of saying, I'm so passionate about it. I'm passionate about it. So, passion is something to be proud of. But passion in itself constitutes a lot of setbacks because the results are always rooted in miseries. Think about all of the activities that involve passion. When you talk about killing of animals, hunting, romance, all of these stuff is all about passion. And the consequences are so glaring. And sometimes, if even people have the great fortune of being told that what the so-called passion they are involved in is actually going to be destructive to human society, is ugrakarmic. No, I'm passionate about it. Passionate about it. I have the passion for it. You have the passion for it. You can't stop the miseries that accompany that passion. And therefore, civilized people, people who have high intelligent quotient, people who have high emotional intelligence, people who have high cultural intelligence, they don't get involved in activities in the mode of passion. Because they know the results. They are consequential. So Prabhupada mentions in the purport that even the very phenomenon of animal killing, people are proud of animal killing, especially the cow. People are proud of how much beef they've eaten. But the point is, if we are so much proud of our sinful activities, to that degree we are proud of our sinful activities, to that extent we are actually needing help. Now this text is very open. It's very open for anybody. I've been a devotee for this number of years, for 30 years, 20 years, 50 years. This text does not, it doesn't have to do with me. I don't kill animals. I'm a Bhakti Brahmin. But it's not only about just being a Bhakti Brahmin. Prabhupada mentions in the purport, the essence of our well-being is to distribute Krishna consciousness. What are we doing about the distribution of Krishna consciousness? I remember there's a couple in Ohio, in the US. So, a young couple, the both of them are doctors. And so, I visited Ohio when I was traveling, precisely in Columbus. And so they took me to their home. And the wife was telling me how when herself and her husband, when they retire, they're going to move to Vrindavan, and stay here and just do bhakti. But guess what the husband said? Hey, I'm not going to move to Vrindavan with you. I am going to preach. I'm going to save souls. That's what he said. A young couple, young medical doctors. To be a medical doctor in America is like being a demigod. But he said, no, I'm not just going to retire in Vrindavan and enjoy my spiritual life. I want to pay back what Prabhupada has given to me. I want to go out and preach. So yes, to come to stay in Vrindavan is an amazing thing. But how many souls are we helping to save? Yes, we need people to be here, to be in a supportive team. So that when guests come, they have a base, they have where to lay their head, they have food to eat, they have prasadam to eat. In fact, Prabhupada mentions, and this is specifically to ISKCON devotees, Prabhupada mentioned that all the vanaprasthas and sannyasis should stay in Vrindavan. So this is a hard knock. These are some instructions. We tend to be selective in executing or implementing Prabhupada's instructions. But here, it's not a question of there is no selectivity in this purport. The point is, Prabhupada wants us to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are missionaries. I keep asking people, you say you want to take initiation. What does it mean to be initiated? It's to be a disciple. To be a disciple, to do what? To take some name and go about doing your own stuff. To take a new name. This is my new name. And so yes, there are people who are out there wreaking havoc in society. And by the special mercy of Prime Minister Modi, I think even the animal killing is being stopped in India. And this is the power of, this is the good thing about political power. Whether I like it or not, if I have the political power, I can say, no, it doesn't matter. We enact some law and we put it in place. This is the reason why we want some of our devotees to become highly evolved professionals. To keep order in society. To keep order in society. And therefore it is important for us to understand that the cow is very dear to Lord Krishna. In fact, the place we are struggling to go, what is that? Goloka Vrindavan? No. What is the meaning of Goloka Vrindavan? A planet of cows. Not a planet of green people, white people, black people. Goloka. Planet of cows. And even the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, that we are worshiping, or we are endeavoring to worship, he plays around. He's a cowhead. He's a cowhead. He's not a prince. He's not a child or a president of the country.
He's a cowhead. He attends cows and calves. And he has pleasure doing that. When he was growing up in Vrindavan, when he has to go to the forest to tend the cows, the mother will just be in anxiety. The mother and the father, they will be in anxiety. Your feet, they're too tender. How you can go into the forest barefooted? Come on, put on shoes. And what is the argument of Krishna? The cows are not putting on shoes. Okay, take an umbrella. The sun is too much. Janani, my dear mother, the cows, they don't have an umbrella. So, this is the way of Krishna. He deals with the cows. He deals with the cows, just like how he deals with his cowhead boys, just like how he deals with his cowhead dancers. So, it is important that we give not only respect to the Brahmins, but we worship the Brahmins. We take care of the cows. Luckily here we have cows. And those who are taking care of the cows, that's a very special service. You are in the spiritual world already, because that's what Krishna does. Even in the spiritual world, that's what Krishna does. That's Krishna's service. So you have to find out, you have to figure out when people got second initiation, they struggle too much. It's so hard to become pujaris, isn't it? Because it's a prestigious service. People don't struggle so much to go and take care of the cows. But Krishna, taking care of the cows is Krishna's service. His whole business is taking care of the cows. And the cows are so important to him. Just like the cows are important to Krishna, we should also have that type of mindset. We should have that type of similar disposition towards the cows. The cows are providing us with milk. And from the milk, so many milk products are being produced. But people are heartless. Prabhupada mentions in the purport. People have a taste for consuming the milk and milk products. And yet, they facilitate the killing of the cow. And especially in the West, we have these days, people are training up dogs. Dogs can talk. You know that? Dogs can talk. So they live with the dogs and train the dogs how to talk, how to go on an errand, bring me this, they go to bring it. And the question is, and when you ask this in the public, then it seems as if, oh, you're so heartless. You're not appreciative. Okay, you love the dogs so much. What about your brother? You love the dogs so much. You're training them how to talk. Good. But are you a vegetarian? Are you helping to protect the other members of the dog's families? That's not important. And so we can do something as a facade, as a smoke screen, and we use that to perpetuate our ugrokamic activities on the planet. So it is important. A call for action. Just like we have some segment of the government is helping to facilitate cow protection, or at least stop the public slaughter of animals, especially the cow. If the members of the government are also seeing the evil in it, not to speak of those who are endeavoring on the path of transcendence. For Lord Krishna, everyone is equal to him. Mama evam so jiva loke jiva bhutta sanat. Whether some entity, embodied being is having the body of a dog, a cow, a human, they are all equal before Lord Krishna. But if someone is highly civilized in culture, it's a Brahmin, he is very, very dear to Lord Krishna. Just like the cow is very dear to Lord Krishna. Because the cow supplies all types of milk products, especially milk that we derive so many other things like yogurt, ghee. And if we are even protecting the cows, it means we are not being violent. What does violence mean? Violence. Now, according to the American Psychological Science Association, violence means when we hurt an individual or a team. Each time we hurt someone, we have committed violence. Each time we hurt someone, we have broken one of the regulatory principles of freedom. Because that's violence. Why are we vegetarians? Or why are we Krishnatarians? Why we don't eat all the chunks? Because we do not want our actions to constitute violence, or we do not want to facilitate violence. But what about the devotees around us that we hurt every day? Say in the home, we hurt our spouses. I may come here, I speak very nicely, I give very nice class, and I go back home to my house and I punch my wife in the face. That's violence. So, the purport is the meaning is very, very broad. It's not just limited to animal eating or killing of cows. It's about violence. And violence breeds violence. So, it is something that we should reconsider in terms of our actions and reposition ourselves only in pure goodness, activities in pure goodness. Because it is only activities in pure goodness that could enable or facilitate harmonizing relationships. So violence is not good. And protection of the cow. Why protection of the cow? Because the cow is helpless. There are other categories of beings that are helpless. Women, they are helpless. Children, they are helpless. The elders, they are helpless. See, it's about being pragmatic and being all-inclusive in our decisions and our implementation of the rule of justice. So these modes of material nature, they are vying for supremacy. It's like two kids in the home. One of them is the older one, but the younger one is tougher. And so the older one should be respected, whether he's not having the physical strength, but then the younger one who is tough just takes undue advantage of the older one and starts vying for supremacy. Sometimes it beats up the older one. So the modes of nature also, they are like that. They are vying for supremacy. And this process, this competition goes on and creates different type of behavioral patterns. I know one doctor in Australia, she developed a PhD by studying scientists, how the most of material nature affect the scientist. Another devotee in Florida, he examined, in his PhD, he examined the three gunas and how they impact on behavior. Now, all of these gunas are endogenous and exogenous. They are intrinsic and extrinsic. Or they are internal and they are also external. They are within and they are without. So it's not that, okay, the gunas are here, let me run away. There's no question of, we are living with the gunas, they're living in us. It's a matter of trying to streamline our activities in such ways that we can identify how we are being affected negatively by a particular guna, especially the tamas and rajas. It's like a whole lifetime of struggle. The gunas, the fight with the gunas is a whole lifetime of struggle. You find people who are apparently very nice devotees, very nice. But then the next moment you hear they did this or they did that. And then you wonder, you say, what? She's just a nice person, or he's just a nice person. This is the effect of the gunas. And therefore we have to take our sadhana seriously so that the purification could be expedited, and we ultimately can transcend the effect of the gunas and lead a sustainable, devotional, peaceful existence, where we don't need someone to remind us about the fact that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. We should honor them, we should respect them. It's not just only about the brahmanas and the cows. Everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. We should honor them, respect them. Any comments or questions? What's the question? Oh, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Yes. What, not what? You need what do you call? You can use this.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Yes, please. Try.
Why?
Yes? What's she saying? What? All right. Okay, I was made to understand this is a question why we are not taking actions against dog eaters. Yeah. I don't know the constitution in India, but in America, you are free to do whatever you like. As far as your action is not against the constitution or the criminal codes or the road traffic edicts. So, there are different believers, even in India. We have Muslims, okay? And according to the United Nations Charter, everyone is entitled to his own, to his belief system. So, if someone is a dog eater, for instance, it's most abominable, but at the same time, we cannot go and arrest them. It's not that because they are not following our religious principles, and we have to go and start fighting them. I mean, then we become like all these jihadists. You know, the Sanatana Dharma, it gives a lot of liberality to people. We convince people, lovingly convince people, not to become involved in sinful activities. We don't fight people. There are two things. If you know something that is good for the benefit of the world, you will have to persuade the world, to convince them by reasoning and logic, not fighting. So, our system is based on conviction, persuasion, and loving disposition. If you love somebody, you don't force them to love you. You don't fight them. Or even, for instance, you have friends or family members. You are involved in Krishna consciousness and they don't join you to follow everything. You don't start fighting them, you know. Because that makes the love conditional. You have to persuade them, you have to convince them, you have to demonstrate to them that my love for you is not based on any condition. And if they realize that, then they jump into whatever you say. Yeah, so that's how it works. Yeah, it's a little bit upsetting to see people in the world. I remember I went to a conference some years ago when I was younger, and this is animal rights conference. Okay. So before I made my presentation, I asked the organizers, I challenged them. You know, when I was younger, I was a little bit rough. So I challenged the organizers of the conference that, now, tell me, how many of you organizers of this conference, animal rights, how many of you are vegetarians? None of them is a vegetarian. But they are making big campaign about animal rights. Just for fame, distinction, and money. So this is the hypocrisy of modern society. We have to rise above that hypocrisy and be genuinely interested in elevating people's consciousness. In that way, they can imbibe the culture of Krishna consciousness with firm conviction. All right? Okay, so my time is up. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki jai.